Welcome, everyone. It is Thursday, noon Eastern time, the week before I Am Phenom. We are coming to you live just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the booming metropolis known as Ambler, PA, and Talent Experience Live on Thursday, the place where information flows like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm your host, Devin Foster. And this week we have a very special episode. I am joined by both Claudia Harms of Kuehne+Nagel as well as John Deal. But before we get into that, of course, we have to do some housekeeping and pay the bills. Talent Experience Live is proudly brought to you by the good folks here at Phenom, whose purpose is to help 1 billion people find the right work. That is why we exist, why we host this program on a weekly basis, why we are hosting I Am Phenom next week in Philadelphia. You can still get tickets as of right now. Use promo code TXL. It is from March 11th through the 13th. I believe we have over 100 speakers, 75 customer-led sessions, and really just a ton of education, extracurricular activities, the Rocky Run. We'll get into some of it today in the episode. But if you're local or, maybe not local and headed to the Philadelphia area, definitely check that out next week. Obviously, I Am Phenom is a tradition here. It's something we take a lot of pride in, not just from the marketing team, but from the organization as a whole. We get to hear some of those customer stories, and all of that is good and well. But the way that we get to hear these customer stories, the way we get people to I Am Phenom is through our Intelligent Talent Experience platform, which helps candidates find the right fit faster, employees evolve in their current roles and beyond, managers get to build better teams through data and analytics, and recruiters achieve next level productivity and efficiency. I mixed it up there. Typically I do the managers last. Today I did them third. Because managers are important, and we're going to hear from them at I Am Phenom. Of course, all of this is powered by super slick artificial intelligence and machine learning. So if any of it interests you right now after the program, run on over to phenom.com. You will see our gold conversation and keynote speaker right there on the homepage for TXL. I can't say much more because I am contractually obligated not to, but definitely check it out after the program, which, as I kind of teased at the top of today's show, is a special one. Today we are hearing why talent leaders love I Am Phenom and why you should attend. So I mentioned Claudia Harms as well as John Deal are going to have a brief conversation with me. We cover it all. We talk about Claudia's experience last year as a speaker, why she found it so insightful, what were some of her favorite aspects, maybe a little bit of competitive intelligence that she got from the event as well. John Deal talks about what's to come this year, what to expect, what they are looking forward to, chats a little bit about our AI and automation labs. Anyway, I don't want to give it all away. So without any further hesitation, here is Claudia, myself, and John Deal for this week's episode of TXL. Welcome, both of you, John and Claudia. I appreciate having you both on Talent Experience Live today. John, you're on all the time.
I am.
So I am going to bring on and have our special guest introduce herself. Claudia, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Kuehne+Nagel?
Yes, happy to do so. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. I'm Claudia. I'm a mother of 2. I have twins, 2 boys. And I'm also very proud and happy Kuehne+Nagel employee for almost more than 20 years. So you could say I'm a product of internal mobility, actually. And right now I'm doing operational excellence for talent attraction acquisition. So what that means is that we are really standardizing processes around the recruitment process. We are operating in recruitment centers across the world, and we try to just get better every day for our candidates and for our hiring managers.
That's awesome. The similarities between the three of us, I don't think I've connected till this exact moment. Both of us products of internal mobility, correct. I would say here at Phenom.
Yes.
We both have 2 children as well.
Correct.
We just have 2 girls. She has 2 boys.
We are girl dads.
Yes.
She's a boy mom.
Yes. Yes. But Claudia, I know last year you were at I Am Phenom. Obviously it's next week. I want to ask you though, how was the experience at the event, and when you spoke, what topics did you cover? Was it on the internal mobility side, or what did you really dive into there?
It was mainly internal mobility that I was allowed to cover, and that topic is also super, super close to my heart, actually. So I dived into how we are enabling recruiters at Kuehne+Nagel to really become internal headhunter. So what that means is that we are using our CRM, our candidate data, our employee data to really reach out to them proactively in order to really show them, hey, there are some more job opportunities around the market. We want you to stay and grow within Kuehne+Nagel, so that's why we would like to talk to you. And imagine, I mean, just being an employee, everybody feels like happy to be approached, right? And if that happens when you are an employee, I think that doesn't happen so much yet. And employees are really like, wow, that's super cool. So this is what I covered, how we did that, and also as part of the internal mobility, because we have a full-fledged internal mobility career site, actually. I also covered the referrals. So that's one element of us to also promote jobs internally. So not only to say, hey, don't you know somebody? So that's then basically our second strongest channel we want to build up to really get referrals, because then they also should be a better cultural add to our company. And then the third part is actually together with the referral, we also started a lot about campaigning, so really promoting internally the jobs, so that we're just having this push principle instead of only pull, which really led to a high number of internal candidates more and more over the year. And the end result is stunning. So every year we just increase our number of internal hires. And this year, actually, we're already at 35-40% of internal hires across the globe
Already.
I know it's early on too. And the point that you made there, where employees want to feel wanted, I think is so important, right? We spend all of these efforts to get external folks into our organization, and then sometimes you get the 7-year itch, as they call it in marriage or whatever it may be. It's like, I want to feel wanted again. So it's awesome to hear that you are still focusing on that at Kuehne+Nagel. John, I want to ask you, this year's conference, we always change it. Why? Because we like to make our lives as marketers difficult. No, but we also want to continue to innovate. So I want to ask you, what's going to be different this year, maybe from a talent management side, that folks can expect, in addition to what they learned last year from Claudia?
Yeah, so Kuehne+Nagel, I think, is still kind of leading the way from an internal mobility and employee experience perspective, but more and more companies are starting to kind of see the light. Like you said, making their employees feel wanted is a big part of making them productive, right? And getting the most out of the business. So you're going to see more and more talent management sessions this year than we had last year, because we're getting bigger. Claudia was one of, I think, 35 customer speakers last year. And this year we have close to 100 customers speaking in breakout sessions, and a good mix of talent management, talent acquisition, and HRIT.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of speakers.
Yeah.
Claudia, I want to ask you, for some of the speakers that may be attending this year, what were some of the other benefits that you personally were hoping to get? Obviously, a huge favor. We loved having you speak. But what did you get from the conference, and did it live up to your expectations?
I mean, it's always, what kind of expectations do you have towards a conference, right? I would say, first of all, a big shout out to the communication and marketing team of Phenom, because it was a huge experience, really. I mean, from the moment that you arrived there, everything was branded. Every single moment is tailored and personalized, right? So that it really is a moment that matters to the participant in this conference. Even the hotel card, right, had a little saying on it. So that's really something that I must say, outstanding experience. So that's one thing, and it's really not only an event but really an experience. And secondly, let me maybe think about. I think it's really about, of course, hearing also what the competitors are doing, right? I was always looking into those and sitting into those sessions of our competitors. and to just see, okay, what are they doing? Are we far off or close by? Which was most probably the case. But also then, yeah, around the topics that we are doing right now. So last year I was sitting in a lot of sessions around employer branding, because I knew we are evolving our positioning of Kuehne+Nagel as an employer of choice, but also other things around campaigning. And what really stood out in the end were the keynote sessions on the main stage, hosted by all of the IAMPHENOM colleagues. That was really, yeah, pretty good to know, okay, what are the next product releases, and that you use their storytelling, enabling that to really easily follow what's coming, although there was a lot again that has been released. So yeah, quite a range, I must say.
Lots and lots of stuff. Kind of an unspoken benefit there is peeking in at the competition as well, seeing what's going on there. We don't advertise that much, Claudia, but I love that you were able to find those nuggets and get some insight there. I imagine the competitor sessions wasn't one of your favorites, because you get to see how they're doing. You compare yourself. If they're doing better, you're like, oh, we have to go back and change things. But I do want to ask you, what was one of your favorite sessions? What was one that kind of resonated with you, throughout this past year, that you've been able to apply?
I think the biggest one was really about the campaigning. I mean, we did a lot already, but I think how to target it more, to really be more differentiating. I would say this is really what we could also then apply going forward. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. John, I want to ask you, obviously continuing to change things, 75 customer-led speaking sessions. What are some of the new topics going to be this year?
Yeah, so we really made a big splash last year with AI agents, with automation, with skills. And now you're going to kind of hear the fruit of those labors from the customers who kind of move that forward, right? So a lot of what we have been in the 100 times I've been on TXL with you, what a lot of the topic has been skills related, but we're finding that more and more organizations are starting to push their strategy forward and taking small steps, but taking steps. So, attendees will be able to hear some of what those steps were and the results of those things, and the good and the bad, right? And then, in action, the AI and the automation. So some high volume hiring stories from a couple of different industries like retail, like healthcare, like manufacturing, and some generative AI stories, and some early uses of the AI agents that we talked about. So, of course, I don't want to give away too much from a product keynote perspective. It's going to be pretty awesome, totally biased, but we are certainly innovative here. But the thing that we like is when we see the results of that innovation from a customer, and that's one of the things that we will continue to do every year, is add new stories for the new technology to kind of prove out the stuff that we razzle dazzle with on main stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And making it resonate with the audience, I think, is a huge task where they get to do that and see that in person.
Yep.
You mentioned skills a couple times there. You always mention skills whenever you're on the show. You should just have a shirt that just says skills on it. One of the skills I think that we have here at Phenom is not only educating folks and, showcasing our new technology, but it's also having a bit of a good time, right? With some of the activities that we do afterwards. Claudia, I want to ask you, did you have a favorite, maybe nighttime activity, whether it was, the customer awards dinner or writing terminal or something like that? What really stuck out to you, after the conference kind of, I wouldn't want to say wraps up, but after we leave the venue, right?
I think it's also always part of that, right? To have fun and to meet each other in a different environment. And for me, really, this terminal was awesome. So it was a bit of a food market experience, right? And then you had awesome live band. We could dance, we could swing. So I think that was really, really fun. Of course, it's always what you made out of it. But for me personally, that's something that's easy to connect with people, even with competitors, and just have fun in a very different way. So that's definitely my highlight. Yeah.
Live music is good, I think, no matter when you hear it, no matter what time of the night. One thing that isn't good at a particular time of the night, John, is the fire alarm. So I want to ask you, are you going to be pulling the fire alarm again this year? I know you didn't pull the fire alarm, but
I can neither comment or not comment on that. Nor can I say whether it's going to happen again. You got to keep the people guessing.
Yes.
You gotta get them excited.
100%. It's one of the things that you'll always remember. I think I remember I stayed at home because I live in the city, but I was in analyst day and it went off three or four times
during the day. Yeah.
And the reaction on people's faces, Claudia, when they were like, not again, it can't keep going off. So we've changed venues. We're at the convention center. They have a wonderful union that runs the shop. So hopefully we won't have any issues. They'll get it rectified very quickly. Not that we didn't all have a great time last year, I think.
Well, we're also spread out among a lot more hotels. So if it does go off, then it's probably somebody, speaking of competition, sabotaging the event.
It most certainly is. Claudia, I want to ask you, from, the location that IAMPHENOM is, I think it's very unique in the HR tech space. There's always, conferences in Paris, London, Amsterdam, Las Vegas, of course. Did you have a favorite thing about traveling to Philadelphia for a conference? Maybe it was the food or an activity or something like that. What really stuck out with you there?
I really enjoyed the morning run that you organized. I think it was even yourself that. So it was really cool because otherwise it's really hard to get to see something from the city. So that at least gave me a bit of a sneak peek. And I really liked the cultural element that you could feel and sense of it, right? So there were a bit of specific vibes around Philadelphia in the morning that is a bit different from all the other big cities in the US. So that I must say, really stood out to me. Really enjoyed that.
Claudia, your check is in the mail for the plug.
Sounds like a paid endorsement. Wait, you guys just met?
No, John, we talked about this. I think the 99th time that you were on the program, we talked about the run, which I think is fun, and it's a unique experience for our event. You get to see the city, and no other HR tech event offers a morning run. We actually just opened up a third day, Claudia, because there's been so much demand. So I'm excited about it. But John, what about you? What's your favorite part of the conference? And if you want to say Rocky Run, your check can be in the mail too. I'm kidding. What?
I think I have been recruited for the Rocky Run this year, so I will be doing it. I grew up around here, so I do really enjoy everybody, their ability to kind of come here and experience the city. Claudia, you're coming from Europe, so it's a little bit older there, but there's a lot of history here from a U.S. perspective in Philadelphia. And like we have very unique food options, I think, right? And it's that's the part I really like, is that everybody gets to experience Philly firsthand in the capacity of doing a run, in the capacity of going to Reading Terminal Market, in the capacity of walking around, the city and seeing some of the architecture and some of the history. So, and probably bypassing the Liberty Bell to call back. But that's probably one of my favorite things. Is that we get to bring these people here and they get to experience what I get to see all the time, which is
you feel kind of like a tour guide, which is fun. It's like, oh, did you know about this little piece of history here? Or that the city hall, which is right next to where the event will be, they ran out of money halfway through. That's why it's 2 different shades of white. All these fun things you get to tell people. And it's fun to do. Claudia, any words of advice to an individual who maybe is on the fence? They may be registered, but they're not sure if they want to attend, or they're local to the Philadelphia area and they want to attend. What would you say could sway them to attending the conference? If they are debating at this point in time, who would be, right?
Especially this.
I would just simply say, just go for it, really. I think it's definitely worth it, and I can only repeat myself. It's an experience. It's not only an event, but it's a real experience, and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, John. I think we've done a great job describing why we love the event, why Claudia loved the event, some of the sessions that'll be covered. Where can folks go to learn more?
They can go to IAMPHENOM.com. I mean, we have a full 3 days of agenda there posted. They can register for the conference. They can register for the different breakout sessions. They can register for the Rocky Run as well. And they can see all the great customer speakers that are going to be there, all of our partners that are going to be there as well, and even some of the main stage sessions, which are going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll flip out over the main stage sessions. That's what I've been hearing about it. Pun intended. John, I'm excited. I bought new shoes for the Rocky Run. They got flames on them because I feel fast. I don't think I'm going to be able to expense them, but I'm going to try. And we can't wait to see you all there, hopefully at the run as well, but definitely at the event. Claudia, thank you so much for hopping on and chatting with us. Hopefully this was a little fun reminiscing on last year. And we can't wait to have you back next year as well.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing up the good memories. Enjoy next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
No, take care.
Thank you both, Claudia and John, for taking the time to chat with me. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Obviously, Claudia is over in Europe, so timing was a little difficult for her Thursday at noon Eastern time. But nonetheless, greatly enjoyed the conversation with both of you. Every time we talk about IAMPHENOM, I get more and more excited. As I mentioned, it is next week in Philadelphia at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. We have Know Before You Go content that is out. You want to enter through Broad Street. I can't wait to see you there. If you do see me there, say hello. Say, hey, I recognize you from Talent Experience Live. I can show my boss, and then when we do annual review time, I can use that as a bargaining chip. But nonetheless, cannot wait to see everyone there. Thank you for tuning in this week. If you can't make it to IAMPHENOM, we are going to publish blogs, live stream some of the sessions and everything in between. So don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. But this year is our largest ever. There will be no episode of Talent Experience Live next week. But don't worry, it doesn't mean I won't be working. We will be recording multiple in-person sessions at the event for the weeks to come, hearing about the conference, the topics that were covered, and everything that you need to know in between. I hope everyone has a safe, happy, and healthy Thursday as well as weekend. Cannot wait to see you in 2 weeks after IAMPHENOM to recap the event, talk about some of the product innovations that were announced. And I hope everyone stays healthy. Can't wait to see you next week in Philadelphia if you're there. If not, share some love on social. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much. Bye.